Tony Shepherd and Jennifer Hewitt. Well, one of Australia's most high-profile online stores, The Iconic, has defended its business model and denied it's preparing for a sell-off. The company has yet to make a profit, spending heavily on start-up costs and on marketing. And in an exclusive interview with Financial Review Sunday, the company's Australian boss insists The Iconic is on track.
Its impact has been explosive, from zero to full speed in just a couple of years. The Iconic trades not on big discounts but on range and convenience. For all its profile and noise, though, it's not making money. It lost $14 million in its first 18 months.
Last year we invested heavily in market entry. Our focus was on growth and we experienced hypergrowth, and that was great for us. That was a validation of our business model.
Co-founder Adam Jacobs defends The Iconic's ledger. Building an online retailer, he says, takes heavy investment in stock, systems, marketing and people.
On the back of that, we've now moved into the next phase that, again, any startup would go through. And that's making sure that our cost base is in line for ongoing success.
That's meant redundancies, just under 10% of their 300 staff in the past few weeks. But the model, he says, is absolutely sustainable.
We're at a very healthy stage of where we're evolving as a startup, moving out of our heavy market entry investment phase into much more focused around our profitability metrics and future growth. And both our management team and our investors are comfortable on where we're sitting on that path.
So they're not worried at all?
They're not worried, they're confident, and we are confident too.
How long can you keep going, making losses that run into the millions?
We do have a target. Most online retailers won't turn a profit for 3 to 4 years. If you look at retailers like Zappos in the States, it was 7 years plus. If you look at retailers in the UK, it's around the same time frame. We're targeting a much faster time frame.
2-year-old emails uncovered this week from The Iconic's German founders suggest a singular aim of boosting revenues for a potential sell-off. Adam Jacobs denies this outright, saying the strategy has evolved into a more long-term one. Analysts do question the model, though, not just for The Iconic, but more broadly.
Some of the online retailers that have been successful over the last couple of years have done so with very little profitability. So going forward, we need to see some of the online pure play retailers improve their profitability to remain sustainable.
Still, it's not hard to see why traditional retailers are nervous.
We've seen something like 2,200 retail businesses close in the last 14 months. So there's no doubt there is a transformation underway in retail. There's a rationalisation, there's a bit of a survival of the fittest.
Monthly retail figures out this week are expected to confirm a trend.
It's a very difficult retail environment, amongst one of the toughest I've seen, and I don't think there's going to be a silver bullet to suddenly fix it.
Bricks and mortar retailers have endured flatlining growth in the past 2.5 years. Year-on-year growth in April was just 2.4%. By comparison, online retail has been soaring, and despite a slight dip early this year, still grew 23% in April. Online still only makes up 6% of overall retail sales, and in traditional stores, anxiety shows in every window.
But there's pockets of evidence where consumers are spending, it's just not in retail. They're spending money on travel, they're spending money on restaurants and cafes, on fitness, things that are outside traditional retailing. Unfortunately, a lot of retail categories have become a little bit stale, whether it be the fashion trends or lack of new product development in categories like electronics.
It's a bit grim, isn't it? Consumer confidence is certainly dire, Tony, but I guess the traditional retailers could be taking some heart from the falling Australian dollar. That gives them some advantage over the online sellers.
It does. That will help a lot. But it takes time for that sort of thing to kick in. I mean, you don't get an immediate kicker. And it's still 20% higher than what we regard as the normal, the average. So it's got a way to go. And I suspect until QE eases in the US, we won't get any real reduction in the Australian dollar that will have a significant effect.
And what about the issue of the GST, Jen? Because there's been a big push to have that threshold lowered on the GST on online purchases from overseas. The change in leader as PM, is that likely to be an agenda item under Kevin Rudd?
Well, I think it's going to take a brave Prime Minister of any persuasion to say we're going to actually increase prices for consumers.
In this climate, especially.
Yeah, in this climate. So I think he may, talk about, we'll consider this and we'll review it and everything, but I certainly wouldn't be expecting any quick action. And in the end, of course, that's not really the problem for the retailers. They've got a whole host of other problems that need to be addressed. addressed first.
And would you agree with that, Tony?
Yes, I would. Yes, I'd say I think Jen's hit the nail on the head. And I think consumers are conservative and they are paying down their debt, and that may not be a bad thing in the longer term, but I don't think they're going to spring out of the box and start spending a lot of money quickly.
It's all about paying off the mortgage.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, still to come, a look at the year on